What is banking? Banking is a business of accepting deposits and lending money. It is dispersed by monetary intermediaries that performs the functions of safeguarding deposits and providing loans to the general public. Banking is a licensed and regulated financial institution that lends money, accepts deposits and carries out other financial transactions for its client. What is banking system? Banking systems can be defined as a mechanism through which the money supply of the country is created and controlled. The banking system enables us to understand commercial banks, secondary banks, central banks, merchant bank or accepting houses and discount houses, but to exclude the saving banks and investment and other intermediaries. What are the different types of banks? Investment banking, retail banking, commercial banking, central banking. Credit unions are similar to banks. Online banking, saving and loans, more. Can you explain investment bank? Investment banks, sometimes called wholesale banks, provide financial services to other financial institutions and corporates, and occasionally to countries. A key role is the supplying of securities for a listed company, either through an IPO or a secondary issue, so as to lift capital for enlargement. Investment banks can jointly give loans, typically for millions of dollars, to companies that like debt as a method to raise capital. This is also known as merchant banking. Can you explain commercial banking? Commercial banks, also known as business banking or institutional banking, or divisions of banks, provide banking services to businesses, from small companies through to corporate banking directed at large corporations. They help companies raise finance to expand their businesses and to maintain their cash flow by lending them money. It refers to banking products and services designed for corporations, institutions, and sometimes governments, as opposed to banking products offered to individual consumers. They provide a wide range of other financial services. Can you explain retail banking? Retail banking provides financial services for families and small businesses. The three most important functions are credit, deposit and money management. The consumer-oriented services offered by commercial banks. These services include checking and savings accounts, mortgages and various types of loans and investment services relating to retirement and educational planning. Can you explain state bank? A state bank is generally a financial institution that is chartered by a state. It differs from a reserve bank in that it does not necessarily control monetary policy. The state in question may have no legal capacity to create monetary policy, but instead usually offers only retail and commercial services. A state bank that has been in operation for 5 years or less is called a de novo bank. In the United States, the term State Chartered Bank, SCB, or State Chartered Savings Bank, SCSB, is used in contradistinction to National Bank or Federal Savings Bank, FSB, which are technically chartered across all U.S. states. A national bank must have national or NA in its corporate name, a federal savings bank must have federal or FSB in its name, while a state-chartered bank cannot have national or federal in its name. Can you explain central banking? A central banking or monetary authority is a monopolized and often nationalized institution given privileged control over the production and distribution of money and credit. In modern economies, the central bank is usually responsible for the formulation of monetary policy and the regulation of member banks. Can you explain the World Bank? The World Bank is an international financial institution that provides loans to countries of the world for capital programs. It comprises two institutions, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, and the International Development Association, IDA. The World Bank is a component of the World Bank Group. The World Bank Group, WBG, was established in 1944 to rebuild post-World War II Europe under the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD. Today, the World Bank functions as an international organization that fights poverty by offering developmental assistance to middle-income and low-income countries. By giving loans and offering advice and training in both the private and public sectors, the World Bank aims to eliminate poverty by helping people help themselves. Under the World Bank Group, There are complementary institutions that aid in its goals to provide assistance. Can you define private banking? It is similar to retail banking. Private banking refers to banking and financial services provided to high net worth individuals. Private bankers provide financial and wealth management services on a much more personal level than traditional retail banks, which is why it can be considered a separate type of banking. Can you define group banking? A plan offered by banks designed to be used by groups rather than individuals. A common example is a company plan offered to employees. Usually the bank will offer incentives such as discounts, lower fees and interest rates, as well as other benefits not available to individual customers. Group banking members may have access to lower interest rates, lower fees, discounts and other perks not available to regular account holders. Can you define mixed banking? It is a system of banking where a bank combines both deposit banking as well as investment banking. In other words, the bank will provide short-term loans for commerce and trade and long-term finance for industrial units. Can you explain unit banking? It refers to a bank that is a single, usually small bank that provides financial services to its local community. A unit bank is independent and does not have any connecting banks branches in other areas. Branch banking refers to a bank that is connected to one or more other banks in an area or outside of it, to its customers. This bank provides all the usual financial services but is backed and ultimately controlled by a larger financial institution. Banking systems encourage either small, independent banks or banks that are theoretically independent but are in fact owned by a bank holding company. Can you define chain banking? It refers to a form of bank governance that occurs when a small group of people control at least 3 banks that are independently chartered. Chain banking is also different from branch banking, a situation where all local branches of a bank are owned by a single banking institution. Can you define branch banking? Branch banking is engaging in banking activities such as accepting deposits or making loans at facilities away from a bank's home office. It refers to a single bank which operates through various branches in a city or in different locations or out of the cities. It offers a wide array of face-to-face service to its customers. Subscribe to our channel, Interview Gig. Visit our website for more articles and interview questions and answers. www.interviewgig.com. Like, share and comment. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Click the bell button for latest updates.